I want to open this up to discussion really quickly because as I'm listening, of course, I'm uninitiated. I've never been around this treatment. I've never seen it administered. But I also will look at Lynn and think, wow, sure seems like it's worth a try to me. And that's why I want to ask both you, Lindsay, and also Dr. Miller, how do you go about making that decision? Because what would be the downside to trying it if, as Leigh has attested, nothing else has really helped Noam get to the place you would like him to get to? So I'll open the floor for your comments on that.
So the downside would be no benefit at all the time you would pour into something like this type of a treatment. Again, 6 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks every day. The downside would really be that there is no effect, which we do have children that have gone through 4 to 6 weeks and get no effect or no change in their behavior. What's interesting to note, though, is that we do have research that currently shows that there are specific EEG changes in a autistic brain. And it's not a new tool by any means, but we're starting to understand how, by utilizing EEG to analyze autistic patients, how it can actually help us understand what's going on in the brain. Because we don't know what causes it. We don't really have a cure for it. None of these type of treatments that we're talking about really are FDA approved. They're all off-label. It's important to understand that. However, like you say, there's really no
Can I ask two
downside.
questions? How much would it cost, for instance, for a 4 to 6 week treatment
somewhere
cycle?
around $10,000.
Which is, and that's an important question to ask because
clinic,
the cost is always a downside, right?
Absolutely.
If you get no benefit and you pay for something,
absolutely.
that's a downside.
You feel like a terrible person when after somebody has done that treatment and you're, wow, I appreciate what you've been through, but that's a lot of money to say, hey, sorry, it didn't work,
And then I'll bring you back in, Lindsay. It seems to me that a good clinical trial would answer a lot of these questions. Is there one happening? How close are we to maybe being able to say, this is the right protocol, this is how it should be done nationally if you're going to try this?
Yes, so 2 things. I do not want to give the impression that I don't think this is promising because I've been doing it myself for about 15 years. I do believe in it. I believe that I know we can modulate the brain using TMS to improve functioning of various circuitry. That being said, it's not simply that it may not work, but we may modulate it in a way that makes things worse. And this is, as a researcher, as a parent myself, what I would worry most about. When we talk about risks, yes, there's a very small risk of inducing a seizure, 1 in thousands. However, a bigger risk is that we are shifting the functioning of a brain, especially in a child, a developing brain, that we don't know exactly where it is at this current moment. You certainly can do an EEG, but EEGs change millisecond to millisecond. It is not a simple static state that a person stays in for days or months in an EEG. So we can measure this, but there isn't the data out there that we can confidently say, I know what protocol that may help you. And there is a potential downside is that I may modulate your brain in a way that may not be positive, that may actually lead to impairments or a greater symptom in a certain domain because I'm not sure which way to modulate which part of the brain.